Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's podcast episode. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers, and today we have Toby Newcomb here. Doing amazing things in the Clarksville area, and we're going to get into your journey and everything you do. First, thank you for being here today.
Certainly. I appreciate you having me. I've been excited about it.
Yes, and we have worked with you for years now on different projects, and always a pleasure.
Same. I've always had a great working relationship. Yep.
Yes, and I want everyone to know what you do because you help so many people in times of need.
We do. Typically, I always joke and say that it's unfortunate when people call you and tell you, thank you for doing a good job, but I hope I never have to speak to you again business-wise, because it's, typically when we're called, it's because somebody has endured some property damage that was unexpected, whether it's some sort of storm damage, water damage, mold remediation, that kind of thing. So it's an interesting business. It's an interesting business for sure.
Yeah, and that business is Deep River Restorations.
It is,
and that is located in Clarksville, Virginia. And so I want to know, and we'll talk about your other business too, but first I want to go down the journey of, how did this start for you? What made you decide that you were going to open up Deep River Restorations?
So in 2014, I kind of went through a situation where there was some unexpected damage and kind of saw that process and just saw a need for more of a local-based company to provide these services, and jumped right in. I went and got the certification and the licensures that I needed, and took several classes and opened my business in 2015, and we have been off to the races since. So we provide any kind of unexpected damage services. So, and it's been hard, for sure. It's business is tough for sure, but it's also very rewarding, I'd have to say, to be able to help people when they are genuinely experiencing a really tough time or something that they have worked their whole life to get, typically their property or their home, to suffer significant damage. It is very rewarding to be able to come in and help them out and advise them and use our knowledge and our expertise and our certifications to point them in the right direction and show them progress, towards getting it fixed.
Right, and that can be really tough because they're thinking like all the money and what it's going to take and maybe have to rehome for a little while. And so how do you work through that with them?
It's really important to set expectations. It really is. Depending upon how much damage there is, a lot of times, other living arrangements are made. Sometimes we can do what we need to do if it's a smaller loss while they stay in the home. It varies greatly. But I think, having been in business for 10 years, we've seen not everything, but a lot of things. And our experience really allows us to set those expectations, to say, hey, this is going to take, 2 to 4 weeks at least. This is what's going to happen. In my experience, this is typically how the process goes. This is probably what your insurance company is going to need. And just try to point them, because typically that is what people want. Of course, they want everything done properly, but they really typically want some guidance. Hey, you do this every day. This is the first time this has ever happened. Can you help us out? And so we do try to set the expectations and make them feel comfortable to let them know, hey, this is a significant thing, but we'll point you in the right direction and get you squared away here. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, and you talk about it can be anywhere from a small piece of damage to their home to a large. So take me through what could be happening in someone's home right now that they may be getting ready to discover, what they need to look for, and when to call you.
Sure, it really depends. As you said, we've done everything from, fixing a 2x2 section of drywall that got damaged or where there was a small leak to, to a full, a gut, remove, replace everything. So it can vary greatly. Water can be a pretty damaging substance for sure. So, you always want to take the time to look at your water heater. Obviously, you have a water heater, and a lot of people, depending upon where it is, might not even ever lay eyes on it. So it's best to be proactive. It's wise and prudent to every couple years call a plumber. Say, hey, can you come out, just check my fittings, look at my water heater, those kinds of things. It's making sure that there's no external water intrusion into the house. If you do see external water coming into the house through the foundation, through cracks, it's best to try to jump on it and take care of it, before it creates a big problem in the home.
Yeah, so everyone, start researching and looking around your house to make sure there is no water damage.
Absolutely. It's definitely good to take the time and be proactive with that stuff. I mean, obviously, as I know for me, my home is probably my largest investment, and it's, you definitely want to head off any problems you can, especially if it's a matter of having somebody come take a look and say, hey, I would do this to prevent this from happening. It's a good idea.
And then you have big projects.
We do have big projects. We have been, over our 10 years, we've done, huge, beautiful lake homes. We've done police departments, schools, hospitals, everything, municipalities. So, everything from small single-story dwellings all the way up to large commercial projects and everything in between, for sure.
And so what is the radius of people that you serve or areas?
We typically work about an hour radius around Clarksville, give or take. We do have some insurance companies and carriers that we have a relationship with that will extend out beyond that if there's an odd situation or they need us to do something. But on the day in, day out, about an hour radius around Clarksville.
That's a large radius.
It is.
That's a lot of people to serve, and unfortunately, they have things going on in their home and they need your help. But good for you, right?
That's right. That's right. That is right.
Yes.
I've tried to intentionally, of course, not bite off more than we can chew, and to be honest, a lot of the larger national companies are in the bigger cities, and so we found our niche serving our local community or semi-local community, and that's kind of what we focus on and try to do a great job whenever anybody calls us.
And I feel that from you and your commitment, and I was researching your website and reading your website, and you are a family guy, and it's like, I understand everyone has something going on, we all have families, and I just love that approach.
Well, me too. I can say that I've always been a family man, as I like to say it. I got 2 daughters, and they were just home from college.
Okay.
So it's obviously business is important, and but I mean the family thing is paramount, and what I try to focus most of my time on for sure. And
then you have another business. So take us through what that is.
I do. So I own and operate smoke containment solutions, and we provide a proprietary smoke containment system. So we provide and install the system all over the United States, from Florida to Texas to Idaho to Wisconsin.
Wow.
So we do. We've one of the requirements for the system that we install, it's required in a lot of aircraft hangars. So we've been fortunate enough to do some larger aircraft hangars for the Air Force and the U.S. for the Coast Guard, the Navy, the Air National Guard, and that keeps us busy too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what, made you decide to start that side?
So I worked in that industry for almost 15 years before I went into business for myself. So I had some knowledge and had some experience in that industry, and just like everything else, just kind of took a leap of faith to do it, and it's done well. It's panned out and done well.
Okay. Well, talking about being a business owner, take us through. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
And
Yep.
so
It is not
what
easy.
is some advice you would give to anyone that is watching today that is maybe thinking about starting their own business or is currently doing it?
Sure. I tell you, my main advice would be good to your word. Don't tell people that you're not going to do something that you don't do. I'll be the first to admit in my many years of business that I'm sure things have fallen through the cracks. But as a rule of thumb, if you are, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in or what trade you're in, if you do a good job and you're good to your word, typically, and you want to put the work in, you'll be successful. But that is, to me, it seems like that's kind of a common thing today with people telling you that they will do this and do that, and it's just that would be my advice. Don't tell people you're going to do things that you don't do or that you can't do.
Especially in the trades, and I know you see that a lot with all of the contractors that you work with, and I'm sure that you even deal with customers who have not been served the way they should have, which ended them up in the situation that they're in coming to you.
For sure. That happens, quite a bit. We have been called when other contractors came out and either didn't or weren't able to provide the services that were required at the time. So, but that's kind of been that's always been my sticking point, is to just don't make promises that you can't fulfill, and don't tell people you're going to do things that you can't do.
Yeah. 100%. And what are your current goals? What are you looking to do next or continue doing?
I tell you, I really have about as much as my plate can handle at this time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm getting on up there, and at this point, just maintaining, trying to make sure that we, provide the best service that we can on every job and on every call and to every client, and just do a great job, and be available, and then, and be honest, and do what we're supposed to do, and that's it. I think my wife will literally kill me if I take anything else and pull it under my wing. But she's been great, and I will say, going back to the whole family thing, she was, she's always allowed me to do those things and chase those dreams, and not the easiest sell for sure when you have kids, and so she's been great in that regard.
Yeah, and that's so important.
It is.
When you're owning and running a business, is having that support at home.
It is. It's imperative.
Yes.
For sure.
And that is, I know, why you're successful today, is because you had that support, and it's a big reason. So, what do you do for fun? What do you like to do?
I tell you,
if you have time
these
to do
days,
anything.
I tell you, I love to go watch my girls play volleyball. I love spending time in the outdoors.
Yes.
On the river. I kayak and fish quite a bit, and I fish in my beautiful hometown of Clarksville all the time, or as much as I can. And that's it. I like to spend time with my friends and family, and I'm sure, much like you, I don't have a whole lot of idle time, but I do like to spend time outdoors and spend time with my daughters and my family, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are starting something here on the podcast where you're going to pick a random question.
Okay.
And you're going to pick it. This is new. Okay. Let's see what you choose. You pick any card.
Any
here.
card. One card.
Hopefully
Take any
it's
card.
It's a good question.
All right, let's see here.
What you got?
What's your favorite lunch?
Oh, I love this question.
Yeah, me too. I will say that I'm a huge fan of food. I love eating for sure. My favorite lunch, I would say probably would be, you know, with food you go through phases,
Yes.
right? Where you
Yes.
eat something for, 6 or 8 months that you love, and then you move on to something else. But I would say at this point in time, probably birria tacos have been my thing
So
recently.
good.
They are great. They
They hit different when they have
do.
that. I mean, the shells dipped in the what is
consomme.
it? Yeah, whatever it is, it's great.
Yes, they are great, and that's one of my favorite. I try not to eat too many chips when I go, but I love the birria tacos for sure.
I love that.
One of my favorites. for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you for answering that question.
Sure.
I enjoy this segment so
Sure.
much.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
You are a great guy. You are great to work with. Thank you for everything that you've helped us do here at Rogers. We want to continue helping you. And everyone in the community, reach out. Deep River Restorations, I mean, here to help you in times of need and to do it the right way. And I mean, where can everyone find you? How can they get in touch with you?
So, website is usually the best, of course, deepriverrestoration.com, and we are on Facebook, of course, as well. Anytime, I like to think that most of the local insurance agencies also have our information, and and I would also like to mention that we are an IICRC certified firm, which is important. That's the gold standard in our industry, and they oversee and provide all the certifications for the restoration industry. And we are an IICRC certified firm and have been for a lot of years.
Hey, and that matters.
It matters. It does.
I will link all of the information right above here. So click on it, reach out, use Toby if you need them, Deep River Restorations, and thank you again so much.
I appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Hello, Hello. We can't wait to talk to you next week. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, do all the things you're already used to doing, and we will talk to you next week.